What is up? Today we are doing chest, everyone's favorite day. So yesterday we did arms, biceps, triceps. I've been slacking on the videos, but you know, I'm gonna try to keep them going because they're kind of interesting to make, kind of fun. So yesterday, I'll say this, right? Everyone likes to do a good 1 rep max. I feel like I normally wouldn't. It's not smart to do, but with the weights that I'm doing right now, I think my max on bench is 225. I'm weak. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm freaking weak. So I'm not too concerned about injuring something, right? I guess really when one rep max is getting to the ballpark of potentially being dangerous is probably more around 350 to 400, and obviously depending on if you're enhanced or whatever. But sometimes I kind of just doing a full, me and Thomas, good old gym bro. Right now we're actually about the same strength, so his max is around 330. Well, 325 is really both our max. So we did that. So I'm a little sore in chest today, not too bad. Chest is kind of one of those things I feel like a little bit of overtraining probably won't kill you, especially if you're, getting your protein intake. Which, by the way, I watched one of Sam Sulek's videos. He was saying that protein intake is obviously important, but not to get it from whey protein. And, not that I don't disagree. There's definitely, I feel a benefit to maybe getting it from natural sources, like eggs, or maybe some chicken or beef, or however you want to get your protein. But the thing about whey protein is it's how you can get protein instantly. It's so easy. Not to mention low calories, right? You can just drink it, you'll be full for a good few hours, because protein, it keeps you full. And obviously if you're the type of person where your freaking stomach's gonna be rumbling and bumping from a couple sips of a protein shake, you're unfortunately gonna be in that group of people that just cannot tolerate. Now, I'm gonna be honest, protein shakes don't always make my stomach feel great, but it kind of plays into the fact of I'm also trying to not eat that many carbs. If my stomach's not feeling necessarily the best, I'm already going to be prone to not wanting to eat any more food, right? So now it's probably not the healthiest way to look at it, but it is, a way to look at it. Now, you could always go, you could get whey protein isolate. That's where it's a little more expensive, but all the lactose is taken out, so odds of it messing with your stomach are pretty much zilch. But if you're trying to hit that protein goal, it's pretty much function over form. So it's not gonna taste great or whatever, but at the end of the day, if you got to hit 100 grams of protein, right, then 2 protein shakes, right? 2 scoops, 25 grams of protein per scoop, boom, 100 grams out of the way for the day. It's just so easy, so simple. I think everyone should really be utilized. Cheap, right? $20 for a pretty big. Target, they sell freaking, they have 57 servings per container, huge things of protein powder for $44. Just bought one of those the other day. That's gonna at least last me 2 weeks. But that's pretty much my main goal: 2 protein shakes a day. And I don't know, if you're anything like me, you'll, in a couple weeks, you'll go back and you'll notice that you look slimmer, and you're like, what the hell? I don't even feel like I've been eating that much. I don't even feel like I've been dieting, because the protein just keeps you full. So anyways, main gist for today, right? I know I went on a little tangent about whey protein, but it's just such a simple, easy, effective way to get what you need in. Whereas, when you go with chicken or shrimp or whatever you want to, or beef, it's you kind of have to plan a meal that tastes good, right? Because I feel downing a protein shake is a whole lot easier. Let's say a protein shake doesn't taste great, right? At least you can kind of just throw it back real fast and boom, protein shakes in. You know you got that protein. It might have not been fun to drink, but you know what? You got it down. Whereas if you make like a whole meal of chicken and like you want to keep it lean and you want to keep sodium down and everything like that, it's like, I feel like it's harder to eat a whole meal that tastes not so great than it is to just drink a protein shake that doesn't taste great. Which, by the way, the Target, if you know, little hack, Target protein powder. Okay, go get the dehydrated peanut butter from whatever grocery store is nearest to you. I do 2 scoops of the Target protein powder, sometimes 2.5, depending on how freaky I'm feeling, and then 4 scoops of the peanut butter, dehydrated peanut butter, and boom, you have a freaking vanilla peanut butter milkshake protein shake, and it tastes pretty darn good. Now this guy's right on my ass, but give it a shot, right? Like, I mean, that's really the best combination I've found so far. I've tried like so many different protein powders, and the Target brand, even though it's whey protein concentrate, okay, I will say that it's not whey protein isolate, it tastes the best. So it's the easiest to sit down, and you're actually, at the end of the day, when you're like kind of hungry, right, for a meal, and you're like trying to cut, you down one of those freaking shakes, you're gonna be most likely good for the night. You're not gonna feel, you know what I mean? Like you're not gonna be overly full. And honestly, it's kind of more of like a comfortable type of full, if I'm being honest. It's, like you're not getting that feeling when you eat a huge meal and you're so uncomfortably, like your stomach's about to freaking rupture or something. But yeah, so like I said, I've been through so many protein powders. The Target brand, like bar none, the best. Because for some reason, vanilla and chocolate is super difficult for these companies to get correct. But, so definitely give that a shot. But anyways, back to the subject of chest. Whole point of chest, I guess, really, we'll see what happens today. I've been trying to take it easy on the barbell flies, just because, like rotator cuff type of action. I don't want to I watched this one video of Arnold, and he said, yeah, getting that huge, like really good like stretch at the very bottom of the rep is what you want to get. But I don't know, man. Like it's good, don't get me wrong. However, if you're not careful, I could really see you possibly injuring yourself if you're, let's say you pick up a weight that's a little too heavy and you go a little too low, you stretch a little too far, and boom, shoulders blown out, chest blown out. And the next time, because I did that, and I went in for another chest day, and I was like, dang, I'm really, like, I was kind of like naive, thinking, oh, shoot, I'll be good. But I did that, went in for another chest workout, and I was like, God, my freaking shoulder is like aching right now. This never, like, I'd never felt that before, and I was like, okay, let's take a step back on these barbell flies. Like no reason to overdo it on an exercise that, albeit may be good, like it may be a good movement, but if it's only good for the one muscle group and it's detrimental to another, I guess really, is it a good movement? You know what I mean? Like you just kind of got to do what's best for you. And I feel like cable flies, like if you're not doing cable flies, I don't know what you're doing. Like cable flies are freaking, for me, I would say they're almost as good as freaking, it's just the squeeze, the stretch is just different. Then I think it's because you're able to really get those ropes like close together, right? You're really able to like squeeze the chest when you're fully like extended outward. And on bench we're going to be doing wide grip, right? So wide grip, I feel like this is probably, I used to go by the rule that little line on the bar is where you put your little ring finger, right? And that was where you should have your hands. But now I'm kind of under the, I'm really like under the conclusion, I guess, that really it should be the index finger that is on that line. I don't know what, it's just the wider grip hits chest so much more. When you have like a closer grip, you're going to be hitting triceps, right? It's going to be more like an arm workout type of deal, really, than like a chest workout. So if you ever have, have chest days where the next day you're like, I'm not sore at all, and you know, I don't know. Like, I like a lot of what Mike Mincer says, but one time I watched a video and he said, oh, like, don't worry about, like, if you're sore the next day, right? I never got sore, which I don't know if Mike Mincer was like an anomaly, okay? But from every time I ever have a good workout, I'm always sore the next day. Always. Like, no matter what. If you're freaking, like, it's just how it works, because the muscle is going to be inflamed, right? Like, you're breaking down the muscle the next day. That, like, pump is inflammation. That's pretty much what a pump, like, obviously blood flow, but also your muscles inflamed because it's actually being, like, mildly damaged. And for the next couple of days, it's like you're literally fixing an injury, like minor injuries, which is why the muscle grows. So yeah, try a wide grip, right? Go all the way down, all the way up. Don't bounce the weight off the chest. I don't know why people do that. Do not bounce weight off your chest. That's not proper form for a bench press. Like, I'll see people do PRs, right? And it'll be like 350, but they freaking bounce it off their sternum, like treating your sternum like a spring. First off, that 1 rep max would not even count for me, right? Like, when I see that, I'm like automatically, okay, that, like, clearly brother had momentum on the upward from the sternum bounce. Like, don't do that. You kind of look like a doofus, in my opinion. But, and also, it's like keeping tension on the muscle constantly throughout the set, right? So when you bounce the weight off your chest, you're taking tension off the muscle, especially on the like decentric or whatever. That's the correct word, right? Decentric. When you're going down, you're taking tension off the muscle, because to bounce it, you have to pretty much just let the weight fall on you to bounce it back up. And so the only tension you're really getting on the muscle is on the eccentric, right? Pushing up. So don't bounce the weight. Keep tension on the muscle the whole time. In my opinion, that's going to be the best way to build muscle. That's the best way to keep tension on the muscle, right? Keep it keep it moving. And then obviously go to failure. Boom. Rep it out, If you go to 13, 14, keep it pushing until you can't push anymore. The whole reps in reserve, I don't know. It's like, if you go to where you feel like you just have no more, like, you're able to do a rep, right? You're able to barely get the weight up. And then if you're on a Smith machine, right, like, maybe try even going for another rep. If you can't get it, you freaking click the bar back into place. Boom. You're freaking all set, ready to go. Like, no problems. But pretty much, right? So wide grip, okay? Go down, back up, keep tension on the muscle, don't bounce the weight. Do like as heavy as you're comfortable with. Shoot, if you can rep 225, boom, go do 225, like just whatever. And then obviously, like I said, the cable flies, and then probably dumbbell, what are they called? Flat dumbbell presses, right? When you're laid down, dumbbells, dink, dink, dink. Probably like maybe 60 or 70 pounds. We'll see. I'm trying to get stronger. You know what I mean? I've only been in the gym for 4.5 months. So, you're not going to, like, if you have really, like, I feel like if you have really good genetics, your muscles may actually grow. Like, I've definitely gotten stronger. I will say that. I've gotten significantly stronger, matter of fact. But, at this point, I really would have liked to be able to bench more than 225, but, oh, good Lord, as that's going off. But regardless, it's like, I don't know. I feel like really a lot of, like, serious strength, not that it's necessarily, like, tied to steroids, but I feel like 90% of people that can bench like 350 or above for more than 1 rep are definitely roided out, unless you've been in the gym for like 5 years, maybe 5 years. Because imagining getting to 350, that's a feat in my, like, I'm at 225 right now, so going up a whole 100 pounds, that takes a while. It's already been a difficult, maybe it's like a mental blockade. I really don't know. But I see, we did 225, 230. Actually, I did 230 on the Smith machine. But Smith machine versus regular, like a free weight type of bench press, not the same. And I will say with the wide grip, I don't know, I was doing it flat and I was feeling it in the whole. I know people, I know everyone likes to say do incline, which if everyone's saying it right, there has to be some credence to whatever they're pretty much backing up. If they're saying this is good, if you see 1,000 people saying this is good, odds are it's probably like there's something to it, right? So, but then again, I feel like you shouldn't take away from a flat bench either. Just because an incline bench is good doesn't mean a flat bench is bad, right? Like, you got to leverage both of them. And yeah, incline bench is good, but I almost tend to feel incline bench more in my shoulders, it feels like. Whereas in flat bench, I really feel that squeeze in my chest. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm an outlier, right? But every time I do, like yesterday, man, we were doing flat bench, and boom, today my chest is relatively sore. Not sore enough to where I'm like, I can't do a chest day today, because I want to go in there, wreck the shit out of some freaking chest. Like, go hard as hell, right? Because obviously goal is to get big. And like I said, I feel like chest is kind of one of those things, as long as you're not ego lifting, going crazy, it's one of those body parts that you can and may even potentially benefit from overtraining. But, that's all like up for debate or opinion, right? But obviously I'm not going to be in the gym ego lifting. Yesterday, my chest was 100%. So I was like, okay, I'll go for a 1 rep max, just because Thomas was like, trying to do that too. So I was like, okay, I'll try it, right? So tried 225, got that. Tried 230, got that. And on Smith machine, I'm a little more comfortable maybe going for a 1 rep max, because you have more stability. You're only engaging that muscle. There's no real like movement in the arms or anything. You're not having a balance and all this kind of stuff. Your like ligaments aren't going to be going in a weird direction because you're like trying to hold up freaking 400 pounds or something, right? On a Smith machine, it's just stationary. All you're doing, down, up. It's like, I feel like your chances of getting injured on a Smith machine are just significantly decreased, because you don't have those external factors where the freaking weight is just free. So your arms can kind of move in any type of direction. And, like it just happened to one of the Trend twins, Mike, I think it was. Well, it happened a few months ago, but freaking tore his pec. Guess what that was on? Obviously free weight. So like, it's kind of whatever you feel. And at the end of the day, it's like, just because I'm saying that doesn't mean it won't happen. It can always, you can always get injured or whatever. But as Greg Doucette recommends, it's like, even if you get injured, dude, like train the side you can train. Keep movement in that, because God, I'm about to like reference everybody. Chris Bumstead, he was talking in a video about like, and it makes sense. If let's say you had to get shoulder surgery, right? Because you injured a rotator cuff, it's killing you. If you just let it sit in a sling for 6 months, you are going to have one hell of a time really getting that shoulder back into action, right? Because letting it sit there, it's like, have you guys ever had like kept your like hands kind of like balled up for an extended period of time, like maybe like an hour, like maybe even 30-45 minutes, and then you go to move them and they almost like creak back open a little bit? I don't know, maybe that's just me, but imagine that being your shoulder for 6 months, right? Like you're gonna be rough, not to mention the muscle atrophy you're gonna be going through. You want to keep it moving, right? Because you're gonna have, first off, one side where muscle is dense, plump, looking good. You have this other side that looks horrendous. So you just got to, try to do something after like some sort of injury or whatever. And that seems what that, the Trend twins, the Mike dude, seems what he's been doing, because I'm not, I've seen a couple of his videos, and it doesn't necessarily seem like either side of the pec is bigger than the other. So he's obviously been, keeping up with like the training generally, or at least keeping some tension on the muscle. And not to mention the extra blood flow you're going to get to the area if you do get injured. If you know, like, I feel like it's only beneficial. Obviously, you got to lift within your means. But anyways, I'm going on a tangent here. But regardless, right? Okay, good chest day. Boom. Obviously, bench by default. Probably you'll get some incline bench, maybe some incline dumbbells, some flat dumbbell presses, cable flies. Let's see, maybe the machine press, obviously. I just rep those to failure. Maybe the machine flies, I guess, right? The machine flies. And that'll be it. Boom, like go in there, freaking kill it. I don't know how long we're going to be in there. Probably like an hour and a half, something like that. Because, you know, to me, it's like there's no need to rush, right? Like if you're in the gym and you're kind of enjoying the motion of what's going on, why not kind of bask in it a little bit, right? Like feel yourself a little bit. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. There's no need to feel like you got to get out of the gym in like 30 minutes or, you know. Now, obviously, we all have time constraints, right? You've got something to do, you got something to do. But if you don't have anything to do, like, what are you going to do when you get home? Make a protein shake and go to sleep, or make a meal and go to sleep? It's like, dude, you may as well just enjoy the gym. Like, and in my opinion, the longer the workout, now there's a point to where it's like the longer the workout, there are definitely diminishing returns on that. Like, above a 2 hour, I would say right at around 2 hours is where, like, if you want to stay in the gym, you should probably be like, maybe socialize. Like at that point, you should probably be done with the weights, right? If you took the workout seriously, you went hard at the 2 hour mark, you're done, right? Your muscles are going to be cooked. Unless you're going for like a full body freaking head to toe workout, you're not going to be able to focus on one muscle group for 2 hours and still have any sort of stamina left over, right? So like I would say about an hour and a half. That's where, like, even multiple muscle groups, you only have so much, you know, like glycogen, and there's a point to where your muscle is just broken down to a point. It's like, it's kind of just cooked. You just cook the muscle. And, you know, Sam Sulek is definitely correct when he says that when you do something like let's say you went and did a 2.5 hour workout on chest, right? There's going to be a point where you're just kind of kicking your chest while it's down. It's like you're doing so much damage, right? Like, are you really going to notice the whole goal is hypertrophy, right? You want to get that sweet spot where you damage the muscle enough to where it can rebuild itself, make itself larger, but you don't want to damage it so much that when it rebuilds itself, it's kind of just like the same or maybe a little bit bigger. It's just really like an hour to an hour and a half. That's like really optimal. Obviously, stay on your shit. Like, don't lack around. Don't be on your phone freaking on a bench rack or whatever. But, you know, get down to it in an hour, and then boom, tomorrow we'll be back day. You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely, like, I don't know if I'm gonna record any gym today. We'll see. But if anything, I'll get like a good video after with like a pump and everything like that. But, you know, biceps, I feel like arms have been looking pretty decent, right, for a natty. So I know I'm not anything too crazy, not anything too buff quite yet. You know, I'm getting there, right? Sam Sulek didn't become who he is in a day. So we're making progress, though. We're definitely making progress, you know. So anyways, hopefully you guys, like, you know, took something from this, because I feel like in these like 4 months you guys will experience it too. If you're in there for months, you'll like start to realize certain things, especially if you're like locked in, right? Like with the protein powder, took it for granted. Started drinking it, I was like, God dang, my body needed this. And then with like just like different workouts, like my workouts now look so much different than when I first started. I did not know what the heck I was doing. And now, like, I used to, like, not necessarily dog on free weights, but I was like, why do I, like, if there are machines for every freaking muscle group, why should I even bother with free weights? Boy, my mind was shut off to reality. Like, I don't even use machines anymore, hardly. Like, except for, like, you know, machine press or machine fly. Like, that's it. And, well, I take it back. For leg, okay, that's a lie. I do quad extensions, right? Hamstring curls. I just don't use them as much, though, right? Like, something about free weights. There's just something about free weights. A good old dumbbell curl. There's just nothing like it, right? Like, there's not really to me, at this point, I feel like there's not really an exercise that can just straight up replace a dumbbell curl. Or even like a tricep rope pull down. Like, you know, and it kind of comes back to the thing. It's like, oh, you're working the long head, you're working this head. It's like, dude, okay, let's backtrack, right? If you're just starting, don't worry about freaking front head, back head. Who cares, right? Lift some weight, and then once you're in there for a little bit, I don't freaking care about long head. If I feel like I just freaking destroy triceps, I'm chilling. I'm good. There's no need for me to, like, I feel like if I go hard, right? If you're in the gym, you're going hard, you want it more than the next dude, you're going to be bigger than the next dude. Even if he's focusing on long head, you know, bottom head, whatever. Even if he's doing the science back lift, like, you're going to be bigger, right? If you're going to failure on your freaking sets. Now, like I said, keep it within reason. Don't freaking blow a ligament or a tendon. You know, like, ego lifting. Just lift as heavy as you think you need to. Don't ego lift. Y'all get the gist. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See y'all later.